Right, welcome back to the channel, number one. Number two, here we have the SMK PR900W in the .177 4.5mm. This is a full power UK legal limit, which is sub 12 foot-pounds, which means the slug is normally travelling at roughly about 800 feet per second. We've had a little bit of trouble with it instantly, or what we thought was either the slugs, the Bisley Superfield, the magazine run flawless, but the reason why we thought it was the slugs to begin with is because on this little picture here you'll see a little bit of a lip on the 177 slug. Now obviously as you feed it into the chamber it's chamfered, so this little lip here was catching on the chamfer and I didn't know whether it was deforming the slug or not. So if we have a look at the slug quickly, bring it over. Can you see that? Is that focusing? Yeah. You can see this little lip just on the edge of the slug there, going all the way around. We're not sure if that was catching on the chamfer, and to be honest with you, the groups we were getting was no better than the Springer I've got, so I was getting a little bit worried. It had to be the two things. It either had to be the slugs or the scope we had on it, which was this. I can't even read that, my eyes is fuzzy.
Nico Starling Silver Crown.
We had that on it, and the groups was coming out. Now this is at 15 or 20 yards. Like obviously we were scoping in here and here, and we're starting to come together here. But this was a group, and this was another group. Now I can do that same kind of group with my Springer. This was another group. And I was getting a little bit worried that, you know, I'd either got a duffer or something. Something had to be wrong with it. It just didn't like the Superfield or what. But we figured out it was the scope. Because we dropped the Hawk HD Sport 3x9x40 on there, and we obviously bringing it up. I mean, we were just mucking around really, but we've started to scope it in, and this was a group here, and then that's a group there. These are not a group. This was my son, but this little bit here is a group. Now this is with it actually, if you look at the gauge, we're actually running pretty low, so that was with that, and it was actually wasn't doing too bad at all. It's better than I thought it was going to be. The silencer's exactly what you'd expect from factory, which is not too silent, but at the local gun shop he said he's got one that can fit straight on here, which is pretty quiet, so I'm going to try that. The trigger is adjustable, so if we have a look at some specs first before we go into anything. Right, now my one's the PR900W, pre-charged, 177. The one at the .177 is 800 feet per second. The magazine is a 9-shot. Trigger pull is adjustable, 0.254 pounds. So I take it. To be honest with you, I think it's more like 6 pounds at the minute. So I'm going to try and adjust that. The overall length is 950mm by 55 by 200. The barrel length is 480mm. The rail is 11, and the total weight is 2.27 kilograms, which is really light. Really light. I mean, like I said on the other video, I'm pretty sure I could shoot and hunt with one hand if I was injured. With this rifle, it is super light. So at this precise moment in time, what we have in here is we have the We have the 1-shot system in that. We have the 9-shot magazine here, which is actually pretty good. When we fed some slugs through it, it didn't really jam up. It was pretty good. These are magnetic. So is this one. If you see on here, it slips in. Let me get this to focus. It's got an edge here, and it's got a stop on it. So when you feed it in, you feed it along the edge, and it just snaps into position, which I think is pretty good. You just feed your bolt forward. Then we have the rotary magazine, which again has the same lip coming along here, but it has a stop on the back. So you just slip that in and it snaps into position. 9 shots, like I said. It is definitely running at 800 feet per second. We've done a penetration test on it already on a thick watering can that me and my son had shot before in one of our previous videos, and this thing just like it just cut a perfect circle through it, but it was pretty impressive, which you expect for a 177 because the penetration's a lot better than the 22. Trigger, like I said, it's not bad. It's exactly what you'd expect from SMK. The bolt handle itself is pretty small. I want a bigger bolt handle, charging handle. But it does the job at this precise moment in time. It has a manual safety, that's on fire, and that's safe. We will give the silencer a test now. Remember, this is indoors, so it's going to be twice, maybe 3 times as loud as what it would be outside. But yeah, I want a better silencer on it. So we've got a bit of creep on the trigger, creep, and there it goes. Actually, the trigger is probably about £5. But what really impressed me with this little gun is the checkering on it, on the wood. It's actually really good for SMK. The stock's pretty neat, it's pretty nice. The edging's pretty good, the pad's pretty nice on it. Again, the checkering along here, it's very nice. Got the gauge. We've done about, what, how many shots, Ryan?
About 50, 60.
About 50 or 60 shots through it, and we were on about 20. And now we're just on the other side of the green, so it's done a lot better shot count than what I thought it was going to actually do. Because I've read that they have about 24, so the 50 or 60 was pretty impressive. That's a look at that side. Because we got a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for, pissed off with this scope, me and my son's come up with a great idea. We are going to do a Saving Private Ryan with this scope. We are going to see if we can penetrate in this side and out of that side with a 177 slug, and we're going to put a tomato on the back of it, just for giggles, shits and giggles. If it takes 2 or 3 shots to get through, then okay, it's more entertaining. But we're going to get rid of this scope because we're fed up with it now. So that's a video now to come, and we're going to do more fun videos with it, like the whole zombie head with the pita bread and the coconut, and see if we can get some penetration going on there. So if you've got any suggestions on slugs to be used, Prometheus or things like that, as this is not spring, we will have a shot and see if we can actually get inside the coconut this time. But possibly one of the first videos is going to be to see if we can do a Saving Private Ryan with this scope. Overall view from today. This is with the charge coming down. Tip of my finger at about 20 yards. I reckon we could get a lot better, because this is the first slugs we put through it. We don't even know if it likes them or if it doesn't like them yet. and at 15 or 20 yards should be really keyholing. So that one, and that one is a group, and these ones are a group. So hopefully we can get better than that as well. But impressed. The total price was £192, and it's not a bad little rifle. So stay tuned, and hopefully some really good videos come out.